So I question, like, who would you say? Because you guys played in the league for so long, but coming from the hood, it's so many dudes who could have made it, or if they would have just not did this or not did that. So who would you say is the best player that you ever played with or played against that nobody's ever heard of?
Shea Cotton for me.
Wow.
Shea Cotton was a bad. No,
Who is Shea Cotton?
he was
You never
number.
heard of Shea Cotton?
He was actually the #1 player in the country
Yeah.
for 3 years straight.
Really?
Felipe Lopez was one of them too, from New
Lopez
York.
was a bad boy. For me, it's Tim James. Tim James from my hood. He the reason why I wear number 40. So he went to Northwestern, which is the school that's in my hood, Liberty City. He went to University of Miami, and he was the first player to get drafted for the Heat from Miami.
Wow.
So he got drafted from Miami Hurricanes to the Miami Heat. He from my hood. But Tim James was like a legend in the hood. He high jumped 7'2". Wow. You know what I'm saying? He was average 20 in basketball. You know what I'm saying? So he pretty much was the guy in the hood that he did everything. So he got drafted by the Heat. I think his career with the Heat only lasted about 2 years, but that had an impact on me that lasted forever. So once I got to the Miami Heat, I wanted number 40. One, because Tim James. Two, because my pops were number 40. But Tim James was a legend in the hood in Miami.
One thing too about it, like, and it's hard for these guys to understand it, but at 16, 17, 18, especially now because of how things are going, like, you got to make professional decisions. Like, every decision you make is a difference between you making it and not making it. School you choose, what you do, like, all these things come into perspective. If you want to be that dude, you got to make the right decisions.
Wow.
Some are just so good they can do it on their own, but very few of them can do it. It's
you gotta
all
get in the right program, right coach.
They're
right.
making professional decisions now at 17 years old. What school am I going to? What am I doing? How am I going to circle my team?
I mean, they get millions of dollars at 17
Millions
years old now.
Yeah.
The NIL, that's crazy. We joked about it earlier, but
He
out
got
of control.
He got 1,500 though. He got 1,500.
That shit felt like $1 million.
It gave me two. Gave me two of that
That
shit.
shit felt like $1
200.
million.
Now, being as though you guys are in media, man, like, you just said the people making a decision that didn't play the game. Does it make it easier for you to be? Because I watch you on as an analyst, and you know what I mean, like, y'all working in the media space. Do y'all find it difficult to be able to talk about players because you played the game, or does it make it easier for you to talk about the game because you played?
I mean, me personally, like, and I've already had this, these things come up for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make it a point to always speak the truth, but it's the way you say certain things. And I think the delivery is the most important thing about it. So I'm always gonna speak the truth. If you went out there and stunk it up, I'm gonna say you stunk it the f up. You know what I'm saying? But I might not say it like that. You know what I'm saying? But also, besides criticizing the way you stuck it up, I'm gonna talk about what you could have did better and how you could have done it better and what you could have done differently. So for me, I'm always gonna have somewhat of a, balanced outlook. You know what I'm saying? On a lot of that. You know what I mean? No matter who it is, people know I can't stand them up Celtics. But if I'm gonna speak on Jason Tatum, I'm gonna speak on Jaylen Brown. Anybody got to do the Celtics? I'm gonna shoot it straight and I'm gonna be honest. You know what I'm saying? If they got off and they did their thing, they did their thing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always gonna be straight. I'm always gonna be honest, but I'm gonna be thoughtful about the way I present. You know what I'm saying? The things that I say.
I think it's a lot like comedy. If you're gonna say something, you gotta be willing to get hit back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna go up there and say the truth, which is, and when you get in the media, it's hard to criticize other players because you understand what they're going through because you lived it your entire life. But like, if you're doing it, you're gonna get fired back on, right? Like,
but he don't have to worry about that because he an agent.
I am an agent.
See, they only gonna with me.
Well, I mean, no,
he got immunity.
No, that's not
This
immunity.
got immunity.
That's not
you
immunity.
You gotta be willing to get fired
He can't
back
say
on.
shit. He ain't want to say shit.
I mean, of course, yeah. Well, I mean, that make it difficult to say something. But what was did anybody, and you don't have to name them if you don't want to, but was there any during your playing career somebody that said something to you in the media that made you be like, man, if I see him, I got to see about Slim.
I guarantee he does. I didn't pay attention to that shit, to be honest with you, so I don't know.
Nah, I ain't pay attention to it, but I mean, for the Heat, we always had Ira Winderman who covered the Heat. And Ira's a Gator from Florida, ironically, but I used to want to whip Ira ass 7 days a week and twice on Sunday.
For real?
Oh, yeah, all the time. He know that. Tell him that now. I just want to whoop Ira ass.
Yeah.
How about the media guy that said that Shaq couldn't win with a center, 7 foot center next to him?
Oh, that's Dan LeBatard. That's old. I mean, he from Miami. See how he tried to tee me up to
wanna
go off
whoop
on
his
people,
ass?
but he don't never see how
He asked the
see how
question.
he tee me up to go off on people, but his Asian ass can't never go off on nobody.
Yeah.
You see that? Angry black man over here.
Angry black
tee
man.
me up to go.
No, now you just got to be more creative with it. Explain it to the crowd in a different capacity.
That's what I said.
Man, that's what you got to do.
That's what Dan
know what I mean?
LeBatard. Dan know I love him, but he said that Shaq could never win with a power forward my size. So I was like, yeah, Dan, you tripping.
Oh,
You from
yeah.
Miami.
Now, see, that's the thing. Like, I watch, a lot of sports media, and, you take people like Stephen A. and who, get controversial takes, and now Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless and all them people. Like, I just always look at it because, you know, comedy is getting into that point where you have people who critique comedy the same way now, like with the internet and all of these reaction pages and, you know, people who online making lists of the funniest this and the funniest that. Like it's always good to be able to, you know, give strategy for people who actually make it into being in the space of being criticized, because that's what you want. I tell people all the time when they ask me for advice, like, get to a point where more people are talking about you than you can never know that are talking about you, then you're doing something good. But at the same time, being able to manage that, it's so crazy. It took me a while to be able to figure out how to do it because, you know, them comments, man, you get to read them comments, man. That had you. I'm talking about you be ready to, man, let me find out what this. Let me hit Batman and get this IP address so I can pull up and see if he said. But the reality is, man, that I realized is, like, it's like having a line of people. 99 of them, it's 100 people. 99 of them got $100 handed out to you. The 100th person don't got nothing standing there with their arms crossed. You'll walk past 99 people with $100 to walk to the one person that ain't got nothing. What you standing here with your arms crossed for? What's wrong with you? And it's the most asinine thought process ever. So you got to figure out how to tap into what you in control of it. You can always turn it off and you know, subscribe to the world that's always going to be outside. So that's the way I advise. Why I asked, did y'all have anybody that you know, had to pipe yourself down from going to swing on? Because they said something about, he's not worth the jersey that his name is printed on. Udonis Haslem never done anything creative in his life. I mean, look at him on the block. He's garbage. We need to get him out of here. We can get a good second round pick. And you sitting there at the house like, man, who the is Ferris Bueller talking to? You know what I mean?